Welcome back to the Evolve podcast. I'm Rhiannon.
And I'm your better host, Brendan.
All right, we'll leave it at that. But for now, pretty much what this podcast is all about is self-development, health and fitness, and our journey starting as brand new business owners.
Let's go. Make sure that you share this around because I'm telling you right now, this is the best podcast you've ever seen.
Enjoy, guys. Ciao. It's weird
This
when
is
you hear
ASMR, guys.
I would
ASMR.
actually get into that, to be honest. Like making it, maybe
Making
not listening
ASMR?
to it. I don't
I think I could listen
do
to
it.
it.
Do it.
to listen to the sounds of my mouth. And now a word from our sponsor.
Dynamic recall.
Welcome back to another episode of the Evolve podcast. Today, I've got Brendan with me as usual, but we have my cousin here, Tasha. She has a lot of insight to give, and I'm really keen to get this going because last time this happened, it didn't work. The system didn't work. The roadcaster broke, and she came all the way down from Hornsby, and we sat and watched the UFC instead. So she's come back again to
We
give us
basically
some.
did the podcast while watching UFC.
Essentially, we
So this is a rerun.
it's a rerun. So
Re.
rerun. That's literally our humor.
Okay.
Anything that says re.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Like doo-doo. You know when sometimes you accidentally say doo-doo?
Yeah. I do that.
See how funny it is? You're like, said doo-doo.
I did not say that.
Oh god. So Tasha, give us a little bit of an intro of yourself, and we'll roll from there.
Oh, mad. Well, thanks for having me, guys. How exciting. Do I like to talk about myself? Of course I do. I guess it depends what you want to know, right? Because there's a lot. Turned 30 this year, so
Congrats.
30 and thriving. I've got a almost 4-year-old, so I'm a mum. And just before this podcast, funnily enough, we were going through the whole journey of, the physical journey of actually becoming a mum. So that's birthing. I don't think we're going to talk about that in this episode.
Not in too much detail, but
Not as much details
clientele.
before.
Okay, that's for the other podcast.
Yeah, that's
okay,
the
got
other-
that one.
That's the next one.
Yeah.
There we go. But in terms of what I do for myself, I'm an operations manager at a digital marketing agency. We grew that from startup, so just me and the business owner. And now we've got almost 30 people amongst Sydney, Philippines, India, and the US.
Oh,
So,
wow.
That's huge.
yeah, we're getting there. So I'm essentially, second in charge, chief of the shit show, I guess, is when things need to get done, they come to me, right? And I also look after my own set of clients, so that's exciting. And, I've got my husband who's got a couple businesses, like to train, like to lift some heavy stuff. I guess that's like a summary of who I am.
That's good. I like that.
That's a perfect summary.
There you
that's it.
go.
And you're an experienced podcaster as well. I think you've been on
what
more
do you
than...
mean? What do you mean? I love having a camera in my face. Yes, so with the business I work at, Red Pandas, we've had a mentor podcast. So it's marketing mentors for the last 3 or 4 years, I'd say. So we're moving away from a mentoring podcast only because the business is aggressively going to go after a HubSpot growth in 2025. So the plan is to align all of our marketing and content efforts in that way as well. Plus, I'm just another part of the intro, I guess, is I'm crazy experienced in HubSpot, which is a software in delivering and training people on it.
Yeah.
Nice,
So
which most
also not
companies
for
can
this
take
podcast.
advantage of as well.
Well, if they're using HubSpot, definitely.
Yeah.
If you're not using HubSpot, I can't help you, I'm sorry.
So to give people a little bit of context as to not only is she related to me, and that's one of the reasons why she's on here, but the other reason was because she was a very big influential part in the start of our business, Dynamic Recov. And she essentially gave us all the little tips and tricks around HubSpot and how to start developing a bit more of an understanding of what HubSpot is. When you were doing those with us and you saw the effort level that we were putting into our business, what were your thoughts going through your head when you saw us asking all these questions and diving really deep into wanting to grow this business to where it is today?
That's a good question. First of all, that was a long time ago.
It
hey?
was. 2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay.
Well, we only got rid of HubSpot
6 months ago.
Not even.
3 months ago.
Yeah.
10 months ago, yeah. No, we're
with
still
your
using it.
custom one now, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. I'll ask you about that later.
Yeah, yeah.
What did I think? I'm going back. I'm casting my mind back to
Yeah.
when we were having that
It's a big
conversation.
throwback.
That's
2
okay,
years
but
ago now.
I think I remember the feelings, right? You remember feelings often. And it was probably like a huge sense of like pride, Brie, just because you're my first cousin and
Yeah.
I remember you being born.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you're like starting your own business, doing your own thing with these really cool people in your life as well was really exciting to see that. So definitely a lot of pride. And then also thinking like, why do they want my advice? Are you sure I'm the most qualified? Imposter syndrome, right? That happens to everyone.
Yeah.
But then I do remember thinking like you guys were just like sponges. You were just asking, firing the questions off one after the other, and I was like happy to oblige.
Yeah.
And give you whatever value or experience or insight that I had, and you're writing things down and you're making ideas up and we can do that. Like you were just so eager to learn, and like a huge admirable trait that you both have is this growth mindset. Like that's all you guys want to do. Like you just want to aggressively grow and learn, and you know that you don't know everything, but you're happy to take advice from little old me.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, 100%. And that's essentially what we were doing, is just asking around and seeing who knew a little bit more than us. I think just growing our horizons like
Which
that.
a lot of people did at the time.
Which a lot of people were doing.
Still
It
do.
happens, in your early 20s, starting a business, but you did it. You weren't too proud to not ask for advice from people. So kudos.
And we also went to a Red Pandas event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You came to the event.
So for those
What a
who,
flop. The event, not you guys being there. The event itself. Hey, it was a great event, but it gave us no leads.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, I didn't.
Nah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So for those who don't know what Red Pandas do, tell us a little bit more about Red Pandas.
Okay, yeah, cool. Here's the spiel. So we're a full service digital.
Digital?
Digital service.
Yeah, doo-doo.
I'll leave that in there.
We're a doo-doo marketing agency.
We're doing doo-doo marketing over here.
That's fun. I don't even know what it means. Okay, we are a full service digital marketing agency. So what does that mean? Websites, SEO, paid media, heavy content, like a lot of content creation, podcasts, blogs, all the other stuff that goes with it. And we're also a HubSpot partner. HubSpot's a software, so we on-sell and train and onboard on that. That's probably what we do at a crux. People work with us on retainers or project fees. It really just depends. But the event that you guys are talking about that we ran a year ago, that was called the They Ask You Answer. I'm not getting into that whole spiel. If you want to know more, I'm sure you guys can link to something.
Read the book.
Read the
Marcus
book,
Sheridan.
yeah. They Ask You Answer, Marcus Sheridan. There's a new version coming out. It's going to be called something very, very different.
Okay.
Just heads up. But it's the idea of you all have customers and they have questions. Therefore, your marketing and sales should be you answering those questions. That's really all it is.
Basically, like they ask, you answer.
That's pretty much what it is. They ask, you answer. That's like literally all it is.
That's what marketing is, but in a way.
Well, if you can grasp that concept, yes, but a lot of people don't realize that your audience don't want to know about, like they do want to know about you as a business, as a
they don't
brand.
really
And
care.
no, at the end of the day, humans are selfish. We want to know what's in it for me. So the concept of they ask, you answer, and it doesn't have to be the book. It could just be like, just listen to your customers. Who are the people that are giving you money for the services you provide? And they're going to be asking you questions. And there's a chance that another customer in the future has the same question that a customer has had in the past. So then what we do as a marketing agency is create content or train people on how to create that content and then publish that content. And so even like your podcast, for example, is like a way of creating content to help you have content that's going to move people through this like sales and buying journey.
Funnels.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that too
Yeah,
much.
that's another rabbit hole.
That's a whole other rabbit hole. That's like the podcast we're launching this next year, 25, whenever this releases, talks more about that stuff.
What essentially drew you to Red Pandas in the beginning? Where did that all start?
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Yeah, we're
Lots
going.
of
We're peeling
down
back the
memory lane
onions.
here. So the CEO, Moby,
Yeah.
is a good friend of mine. Some might say he's my best friend.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure he sees this.
I'll clip it and send it to
He's
you.
actually just a very good friend.
Yeah.
We joke about him being my best friend. But anyway, we worked with each other almost 10 years. You know what? It's probably about 10 years ago now. It's
Yeah.
insane how long ago that was. at a childcare centre. He was the marketing consultant. I was the marketing manager.
Yeah.
And he came in, he gave us some guidance around how to do our marketing, and then we connected. I think what I was so driven to him about was his energy. He just had this inspiring energy that I couldn't ignore. So I was like, oh, this guy is going to go places. He's going to do things. He sees my value. He's growing me. He's investing time in me. So I wanted to stay connected. Funnily enough, he had a podcast, still does, Inbound Buzz.
Yep.
And I started listening to it then.
What's it called? Inbound Buzz?
Inbound Buzz, yeah. It's still around. It's changed format a little bit since then. But that kind of was a little bit of mentoring. He would talk about marketing stuff and I'd just listen.
Yeah.
So we worked pretty closely with each other for some time. Then we separated our ways. I officially took a big leap of faith and went out of childcare, which is what I'm trained in, and went into marketing.
Yep.
And was working in marketing at this agency for about 2 years when I actually applied for a pretty big job at a corporate company.
Yep.
Didn't get it. Was very, very underqualified.
Yeah.
Hey, but I went through the process. I tried. And then after that, called Moby, said, hey, I am looking for a job.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, let's go to dinner. And then funnily enough, it turned out that he was ready to hire me.
Oh, wow.
And it was just him. So he'd been working in his business for 2 years at that point, kind of doing the transition from working somewhere full-time to working for yourself, which is a big leap.
Yeah.
You guys would know. You know what I mean? Yeah, you go from not having you can work somewhere and earn a secure income and know that income's coming, to taking a big leap of faith and being like, I don't know where I'm going to get my next pay from.
Yeah.
And that's what, he did for 2 years, had 2 kids, a wife to look after, and then got to the point where he was ready to hire me.
Yep.
And I haven't looked back. He keeps giving me opportunities to grow and challenge myself and push myself. And he also has a very aggressive growth mindset. If he ever feels like we are stagnant or we're not moving, there's something wrong, we're shifting gears, we're changing, we're moving, we're growing. So in the 8 or so years, like I said, 2 people to almost 30, and that's through COVID. So through COVID,
That's a big change.
It was massive, and we were hiring through COVID
as well.
When people were getting let go
Yeah.
and not finding jobs, we were hiring. So it's been an interesting ride. We got partially acquired 2 years ago, which was one of the milestones we set out to achieve when I first started working with him. And then in the new year, we're kind of venturing off on our own again. It was an interesting, what's the word I want to use here? Keep it professional. It was an interesting experience being acquired.
Yeah.
We learnt a heap, no regrets, but back to Red Pandas being fully owned by the business owner, so Moby and his partner. And I'm just so grateful to be on that journey and to watch the business grow and keep growing, to be honest. So, yeah.
There we go. And you've been more instrumental in the marketing side of things, haven't you?
Oh, fuck, everything. When you are involved in a business from day dot, as you guys would know, you wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
So Moby was he's the marketer by trade. He's the marketer.
Oh, he's the main marketing guy.
Yeah, he's the main it's his vision, right? I'm not going to take it, I'll give suggestions and input into it, but it's his business.
He's final say sort of thing.
Yeah, his marketing vision, that's fine. I just make the shit happen. So if he's like, okay, cool, Tasha, I want 2 podcasts. I'm like, all right, let's just make this shit happen. And then I'll be driving. So you could call him, we use these terms, visionary and integrator. They're from a book called EOS. And essentially Moby is our visionary. He, dreams up these big visions and these big goals, and he looks out for the team, make sure we're heading in the right direction.
Makes it happen.
I'm the integrator. I'm the one that actually makes it happen. So I'm making the calls, connecting the people.
Connect
the
dots.
Getting the bills signed off. I think that's what operations does. I'm going on, I don't know how to do the job that well. I'm learning. It's part of growth mindset. You get given a role, you're like, okay, cool, now I've got to step up and meet the requirements of that role. Yeah, so I like to call myself the chief get it done officer.
Chief get it done officer.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Just get it done. So yeah.
I'm the one that gets her shit done.
100%.
Well, you're the one that actually got me into blogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
I didn't really know anything about blog writing or anything. I used to write a lot at uni and stuff, essays and stuff like that. But then when I was speaking to you, like, you boys should write blogs. Blogs are the best. Having content on your website and SEOs and all that stuff. And I was like, done. You told me 2 blogs a week. I think I did that consistently for at least 2 years.
2 months. It's got to be more than 2 months.
I've got 120 blogs on the website.
2 years.
It sounds like it should be 2 years. 2 months would be.
So
I got 12 blogs.
I got 12 blogs done, guys. I was so consistent.
It's all right. It's Christmas.
Oh,
It's
my
fine.
brain. My brain's gone.
So you've been blogging consistently.
I was blogging consistently. I
Okay.
haven't been doing it for the last few months.
I'm
if
gonna
I'm
ask you
honest.
why
I
for a
dropped
second.
off, guys.
Yeah. Well, why? I go right. Why?
What?
Why?
Why have you started?
If you just
I
when
got
you
so
get these,
upset by the 0 views, all right?
yeah. Oh, was it 0 views on your blogs?
The whole time.
Oh
Yeah.
well, there's something wrong with your blogging then.
What would you think? What would you think's wrong?
Well, how are you getting your topics?
Well, honestly,
Pull them out of your butt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Just from your
Yeah.
experiences of being a personal trainer for the past
Well,
3 or 4
that's.
years.
I was asking clients questions. And
Yeah, which
I was-
is great content, but if you've got no one going to it, you know what I mean? The efforts are useless.
That's what I mean. So
So-
I realized it was like a low yield marketing
Yeah.
strategy that we were using. And that's when we started pulling our efforts more into podcast and social media content, which
Some
was.
other type of content, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. There you go, you're doing it. It's funny, like I don't want to get too deep on like marketing because again, I'm not the marketer. I've just worked in it because I've been in marketing for so long. Obviously, I see it. I live and breathe
all
it.
you know.
It is all I know. But now I'm in that world of like business development and growth.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, when it comes to blogging, like where you probably want to start is like looking at Google or like SEMrush and doing some research around what people are
So much.
actually.
So I was using that.
Yeah, like what are people actually searching? I do find this industry is quite saturated with content in
Yeah.
terms of written content.
Oh, the health and fitness industry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
written, not your podcast. I actually don't know too much about podcasting and other content, but
Podcasting, it's pretty low level.
Yeah, there
like
you go.
low competition in the health and fitness space. There's more in the written.
yeah,
like
okay.
the blogs and everything
and that could be why it's hard to
Crack that
get those
space.
eyeballs when there's already so much there.
Oh.
Unless you start creating, really
Something crazy,
controversial
yeah.
content. So yeah, there's trials and tribulations. You went through it. You tried it. You gave it a go.
I gave it a red hot crack.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's heaps of
interesting.
blogs on the website still. People can still look them up.
Yeah, really interesting. I'd love to look into your
Pump up my views.
your data, just your data in general, to see like where or why or what type of content you were creating. Were you writing it yourself?
Yeah, writing it myself.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway,
Then it got to a point where I was chat GBTing like the, what do you call them? Like subtitles.
Yep.
But then I'd write off those.
oh, okay, yeah, cool. There's a course that Luca at Red Pandas created on how to build a ChatGPT bot to prompt it up and make it do your content for you.
Like
Oh,
prime
wow.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting stuff that you can do with this. I'll make sure I send it to you
Yeah,
guys
yeah, yeah.
afterwards.
I think you sent us something about, what was it? You sent us something about using ChatGPT to your advantage in your business.
Yeah, do you guys use it at all now?
Oh,
We do.
yeah.
We've
Okay.
only started using it a month ago though.
Yeah, about a month ago.
Yeah.
But
For-
it's been a good tool for us, like just with our content sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It just helps us structure a lot more when it comes to us writing emails or little things, like things that I wouldn't think I'd need ChatGPT for. It just gives
Like
you
we
that.
come up with your idea, it gives us a structure and we just build it off
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So everyone in our business uses ChatGPT all day, every day for everything.
Yeah.
Like anything you can think of, we use AI.
Yeah.
There's no way I would ever do my own meeting actions again. AI is essentially my assistant. So every meeting I
It
go
is an
to,
assistant, yeah.
yeah, well, exactly. It goes to my meetings, it records my meetings for me, and then I'll just chuck in the transcript into ChatGPT afterwards. Like, can you tell me what my actions are, and then write me a nice summary to email my client afterwards.
But this is after you've prompted it and primed it.
That was my prompt
Yeah.
is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't prompt it that much.
Okay.
It depends on what you're trying to do. This is turning into an AI podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm qualified for this. I'm just going to speak from like
Yeah, this
I
experience.
work with people that are insanely intelligent for this
When
stuff.
it comes to this stuff.
Yes, like Luca and Christina at Red Pandas are like funnily enough, in our Slack, I call them Luca Bot and Christina Bot because they are like the way their brains
Extra AI
work.
people.
Oh, they're insane. Everything's done with AI. Like the way, and I'm talking
I feel like that's another field that's emerging right now, like
Yeah,
AI
100%.
specialists in a way.
100%. Like even companies using AI. Like I'll share. There's so many things going in my head right now. I don't know what to share with you. Two things come to mind. Using AI for your own business and your own content. I've got a resource to share with you, but definitely ChatGPT. Like everyone's. You remember the talk Linda did at the end of the
About
the seminar
ChatGPT.
last year? Yeah, that was basic. That was basic.
Yeah, that was just intro level. That
Right?
just got us to like prompt
That's it.
ChatGPT a little bit more.
So what we're doing now is we're creating we're creating bots where we prime it up and we say, this is all the knowledge you have. I want you to behave like this. I want you to talk to me like this. I want you to challenge me on these things. Like, you're giving it all these behavior prompts as well. And then it remembers that. It's got a history of what you've primed it to have. And then every time you want to go back for whatever it is you're creating, if it is a blog, if it is an email, if it's a podcast episode, an email reply, someone's done book summaries.
Really?
Yeah, they've primed it up with everything, and then it's the interactions with the AI or the bot that are yielding those results, right? So it's like how I'm talking to it, what I'm asking it to do. The capabilities of AI are beyond our brain's understanding.
Yes.
So it's
I
like,
totally believe that.
yeah, like we our brain cannot understand how
Advanced
this technology is, and like we are just scratching at the surface. We might be scratching a little bit deeper, but it's insane what it's capable of doing.
Yeah.
Well, it's snowballed because like there's so many different AI bots that are being created now for different things.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
There's AI bots for like posting, like businesses. People just like create businesses out of thin air now.
Yep.
Like, it's scary how
quick it's
moving. Yeah.
And the access, everyone's got access to it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got access to it, which means you've got to be a bit more diligent with what you're actually creating, what you're putting out there, what's on brand, what's not on brand. New roles are being, like you said, AI specialists, new roles are being created for things that have never existed.
That's what I mean.
In the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the world we live in. So you have to be, I said growth mindset. I'll say it all the time. You have to have growth mindset. You have to be adaptable and willing to change.
Yes.
Because if you're not willing to change.
Willing to change is a big thing.
It's not even worth it. I had someone the other day where I was like, I'm going to teach you how to do one-to-one videos for your sales proposal. And she's like, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm like, I can't work with you. I'm like, if you're not willing to change.
Willing to go through something hard.
I'm not going to work with you.
Yeah. This phase of time right now, there's things moving at such a quick pace that you have to be changing every day.
You have to.
It's
sink or swim.
Sink or swim, exactly right.
That's it.
It's mental. You were just touching on about your mindset. Now, when you started at Red Pandas, you were applying for other jobs previously, came into Red Pandas, took on a big role. How was your personal development and your mindset going into this new role?
Very good question.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is. And it's so different now because if I reflect back to then.
Because now it's just second nature for you to rock up to work.
Second nature, but also every year you grow so much, you're almost embarrassed of who you were a year ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So if I look back 8 years ago, I'm like, what a pleb. I was scared, I would say. I'm always like, there's always going to be a bit of fear, I think, within us that that
imposter syndrome thing.
Yeah, a bit of imposter syndrome. You don't want to operate too much out of it because it's obviously can be crippling, but it's also good to have some because then you're not like an egotistical cunt. Like that. But I tried to do the beep myself, but it didn't quite work.
There's a button here that we can press.
We actually have one. I never got mine sorted out.
Oh, no.
No.
There is one, but he just presses on it.
No, it's not. Anyway, continue.
There is one. He just doesn't know how to use it.
Don't worry, I don't know how to use it either.
Right. Ours is the same. I feel like ours is exactly the same.
Broadcaster 2.
Did I say it was a bit bigger? No, it's the same. Fuck it. Don't worry. It's not what we're talking about. I have, like, I've got this thing where I'm like, I don't want to work for someone that I'm not proud of. If that makes sense. I got a big pride to me is a very important, value or emotion. Like, I need to be proud of the people that I associate myself with. And so where I was working in the prior 2 roles, I was not proud of my boss or the person that I called my boss. I was almost like embarrassed. And I don't want to work for someone I'm embarrassed for. Like, I will make, whoever my boss is, I will make them shine. You know what I mean? You've got entrepreneurs, you guys, and then you've got intrapreneurs. So I consider myself an intrapreneur where I will work in a business and treat it like it's my own. So
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, you guys are entrepreneurs, right? If you were to hire me, which you're not going to because, no offense, don't want to work here.
Secondary.
I like where I am. You know what I mean?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Like, who's this bitch on your podcast? It's fine. It's all good. And you guys got your vibe. Yeah. You're an intrapreneur. So you find someone or you employ someone that will treat the business like they're your own. Right? There's that, and you can refer to them as impact players. So the people that They show up day in, day out. They get their job done. They grow with the business. You know, they're not that they're yes people, but they just get shit done. That's
Yes.
who I am to
They
Red
do
Pandas.
more than what they're employed to do.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Always, right? Always. You get looked after. But the thing is, I've been that person in every role that I've gone to. But it's only until I got to Red Pandas, started working with Moby, that I've been...
That you shined properly because you
and
were
I got
given
the-
that autonomy as well.
was given the autonomy, the responsibility, the value. Like, high performers want autonomy. They want responsibility. If you want a high performer in your workplace, you need someone that is driven by ambition, like, money is good, don't get me wrong, but if money is a number one driver for someone, it's kind of an indication to me that, well, can you perform? Like, do you have ambitions? What do you want to see yourself in? Where do you see yourself in 3 or 5 years? And what gives you drive at work? Because that's what I'm looking for. And naturally, you work hard on yourself, you work hard on your job, the money will follow.
That's it.
The money will follow. Like, the energy you put out there will come back to you. So, yeah, I guess I was worried that I wasn't going to live up to expectations that, you know, Moby had of me. I was his number one hire. You know, why me? Imposter syndrome again. I was quite young, but so was he, to be fair. We were just two kids sitting in a co-working space trying to make it happen. We'd go out to lunch and people thought I was his boss because he's quite a small Pakistani man. And so often he looked like my employee. And there's been a few times where we'd be driving like back from a client meeting, and he had a Mercedes back then, and he'd be driving me, and then I'd get out and be like, thank you so much, bye. Like, it was my taxi driver, but he wasn't. He was my boss, right? So,
It's good that you have that relationship with him.
we're very, that's what I mean by we're best friends. We call it psychological safety. Like, anything can be said amongst each other, obviously without like being an absolute asshole.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we share a lot of our lives with each other. Like, I'm catching up with him tomorrow with his family. We've got I think I'm very blessed with the relationship that I have with my boss. Not a lot of people can say they have that.
Yeah, 100%. And how do you navigate like those types of relationships? Because every relationship is very different. How do you navigate your relationship with someone that's seen as your boss?
Yeah, there's lines that get crossed all the time. So it's hard. Fortunately, I think we're both pretty good at knowing when to go into friend mode versus work mode. But to be fair, guys, the way we behave with each other is no different in our friendship versus our work colleagueship, whatever you want to call that, right? We're honest with each other. We share all sorts of parts of our lives. We have the same values, share a lot of the same values. So I think that's been really important. And if he does or says something that I haven't appreciated, I'll tell him, and we respect each other by the same way back. Where it's been tricky is watching the team grow, and him and I have got a very similar sense of humour, which some people might find offensive. We've had to learn how to
Turn it off when you're around.
turn
other
it off
people.
when we're around, like, not turn it off, because I think I'm a big believer of bringing your authentic self to work. You should always be yourself.
Yeah, within
right?
reason though.
Well, it depends what that reason is, I guess, Brendan, because if you're like, we
You
throw...
can be too out there sometimes. Like,
Well, I don't know. You guys see me. I'm very extroverted. I'm quite loud, boisterous. I can blur the line of maybe being, casually racist sometimes or offensive. And in our culture, we have this one of our values is inspire. Bring positive energy and good vibes, right? So
that's where you would shine.
100%. That's where I shine. But sometimes the energy that I bring and the vibes is through bad jokes.
And there are some people that be like a little bit
That's
turned
it.
off by it.
Fortunately, we've been fine so far, but I'm aware of it. So a part of my growth and development as a leader now, because we've gone from the two of us to now 30 and showing up for the team in different ways, is I'm just conscious I still need to bring that energy and good vibes.
Yeah.
But I can maybe curb some of the just, sexual
The
jokes.
silliness and
Racist. Yeah. I love that you're like the silliness. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
the silliness is part of the energy.
Oh, he's relating.
It's the, yeah.
No, I'm related.
Yeah, like
Ray
the
has to
silly-
turn me off sometimes.
But
He's like, dial it down, Brendan, please.
yeah, but remember as well though that like that's you.
Exactly.
So you don't want to like think of it. I walk into like Bupa, right? This is a 5,000 person business. They pay us over $100,000 a year to do their systems, And that's nothing. That's a drop in the ocean for them, right? I walk in, look at all corporate and professional, but then I start talking and it's like, it's authentically Tasha.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to change. I might curb my swearing a little bit. Like I'm trying to in this podcast,
bit
believe it or
prim and
not.
proper, like-
Yeah, well, just curb the swearing because you want to, not offend anyone with your swearing. But for the most part, I'm bringing the same energy. I'm bringing the same silliness, but maybe just redirecting it slightly. So like I can still crack a joke with someone or like make light of a situation. I don't care that you're Booper. Like I'm going to be me.
Yeah,
This is who I am. And that's what I think that's what Moby has helped bring out of me because he's I want to say smaller because I don't offend him, but he's a smaller Pakistani Muslim brown man in Sydney, right? His real name is Muhammad.
Yeah.
And it's been shortened to Moby. So like he's been for years fighting against this like grind that he's too brown, he's different. He needs to he's quite quirky as well, funnily enough. We're both very quirky. So it's like he went through this journey when he started the business where he's like, oh, I've got to change who I am to be taken seriously or to make business work. And he's learned, he's like, no, who you are authentically is it's your unique ability.
Yes.
Lean
100%.
into it. Someone doesn't like it, too bad.
Yeah.
You're good at what you do. So I rock up to some sessions with clients and I like to make jokes.
Yeah.
I like the way I show up
That's
is
just you.
like quirky, it's funny, it's vibey, it's quite authoritative. Nonetheless, like no one's going to walk over me. But
You're
I
like
use
direct.
Yeah, I'm direct. I'm very direct. It's another one of my own values. Is like I'm no beating around the bush with me. Sometimes too direct. Like I can be. There's a really good book, Radical Candor. Kim Scott talks about being radically candid or obnoxiously aggressive. Sometimes I can be obnoxiously aggressive with my family. Rhiannon's like, yes, you can, but not in the workplace. Yeah, not in the workplace, right? I'm trying to be just radically candid in the workplace. I'm coming from a high place of care, and I'm being direct. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I got to learn that now.
Go read Radical Candor by Kim Scott, or at least listen to the audiobook and you'll get the concepts. It's great. It's very good for you two as well.
Yeah.
Like the relationship that you guys are on.
That's something I struggle with.
Yeah. Being direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm a
I'm
softie.
direct enough.
Yeah, he is. You are.
I'm direct for two people.
You're direct for two. Yes, you're direct for two people.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's a good balance though. Like if you have someone that's very direct and someone that's very, on the other side of, what's the other side of the equation?
Well, you've got it's a quadrant, right? So you've got I don't remember where they are, but there's
The disc profile.
radically candid. So you're high care.
Yeah.
You're speaking from a place of care always, right? You're not trying to hurt someone's feelings, but you're being direct. It's the best analogy I can give you is someone's got something in their teeth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's 4 different ways you can approach it. Someone's got something in their teeth. You go up to them and go, hey mate, you got something in your teeth. Get rid of it. Like just me and you. I'm not letting anyone else see. That's being radically candid. I don't want you walking around like a fool with a piece of spinach in your tooth, right? So I'm being radically candid. Then there's ruinously empathetic. So someone's like, oh my God, he's got spinach in his teeth. I can't tell him. He's going to be so embarrassed. I can't tell him. And then you don't tell him, right? That's ruinously
definitely worse.
empathetic.
Yeah.
100% is worth. Then you've got obnoxious aggression, which is you walk into the room, there's 50 people in the room. Oi, mate, you got some shit in your teeth. Get rid of it. It's disgusting. No absolute care for that person. You know what I mean? Like you just embarrass the shit out of them. What's the other one then?
That's not good, that one.
There is another one, right?
Yeah.
The other one where you just don't say anything at all. Oh, this one. Go, oh my God, have you seen him? He's got shit in his teeth. Ha ha ha, what a dickhead. Right? Then there's that one. So there's 4 different like approaches to that.
How direct you are, sort of thing.
So the way you want to do it is pull someone aside. Hey mate, you got some shit in your teeth. You better get some.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. You know,
Yeah.
and they get rid of it. So that's being
That's a
radically candid.
workplace
Yeah, and
thing
like
that you're
obviously
talking
that's very well. You do it in your whole life.
Anywhere.
I do it everywhere. I even do it with strangers. To be honest with you, like you see someone walking down the road, maybe they've got
Toilet
their
paper hanging
toilet
out their
paper,
ass.
yeah, or something. Like these are very tangible examples.
Examples, yeah.
But in the workplace, you two working with each other, someone's going to say something, someone's going to do something that rubs you the wrong way. For whatever reason, it's okay. You're allowed to have feelings. It's fine,
Yeah.
right? It's important that you're radically candid to your colleague or your partner about that. Like, hey, man, when this happened, like it actually made me feel a certain way. And then there's a good chance that the other person wasn't even thinking about your feelings when they did the thing.
Yeah. It's
And
like
that's
when
okay.
he farts. Gasses out the room. And you go, Brendan, that smells. I'm like, no, okay. So
That's
now
me being
now
radically candid.
yeah, that's me being radically
There you
candid,
go,
yes.
You're being radically candid.
But next time I should be like, Brendan, next time you need to go fart, just please go stand outside. Is that how you'd approach it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
no.
just don't fart in the office. I don't know.
It's a small little office as well.
It's all right, I do it too.
You got your boys, right? I guess. Look, I know I can sometimes err on the side of one of the boys, but no, I won't fart in the office. So it's like, kind of where I draw the line. Like I'll burp, that's fine, or sneeze. But
Yeah,
if
but
I
there's
really
lines you don't
drop
cross.
yeah, like farting.
It's just us. It's just us.
Oh, please don't follow this podcast,
Oh
man.
my god, that's hilarious. It's coming from a place of care. You know what I mean? Like you guys would be used to it. You guys you've personal trained. You've watched people grow. You have to be radically candid.
Yeah.
If you've got someone in front of you doing a deadlift and like their back's popping out and doing all sorts of weird shit, they're not bending their knees properly, what are you gonna do? Just let them do
Yell
their
at them
thing?
from the other side of the gym. Oi!
You're going to tell them. And even with that one, you probably can, depending on the person, you probably can go a little bit more aggressive with them because for some
Well,
reason
it's
people
all
don't have
personality
true
matching.
form.
It's all
exactly.
personality.
That's it. So then you got like the temperaments and the personalities but you nonetheless, doesn't matter who you're talking to, you want to work on being radically candid. Always.
That's a good one. I
I'm going
like
to
that.
apply that now. That's good. I
I'm
love
going to
having
apply
this.
that to all aspects of life.
Yeah. We were saying every time we end the podcast, I always say I really like doing the podcast because it gives me an opportunity, it gives us an opportunity to speak to people and have a different outlook on life. Or, you've read a whole bunch of books. We've got some books back there. I'm not into books as much, but it's, shit.
You just said that out loud.
You have a
But-
bookshelf
Do you like
behind
growing?
Do
Do you like learning?
Do you
Yeah.
like growth?
Yes.
Are you part of the growth mindset?
Change that
journey?
mindset. I challenge you in 2025, try and read 5 books.
It's definitely something
Just
I
5.
need to do
Yeah, just
and
5.
want to do.
Pick 5 and start reading them.
Yeah.
So you asked me 4 years ago, was I reading? Yeah, here and there.
Yeah.
I would read quite leisurely. It was like I'd go to Bali and just like drink and smoke and read all day long, right? It was associated with that. Then we got acquired, and when we went through that acquisition process, the CEO of the company that acquired us,
That would have been stressful.
it was exciting for me from the seat that I was in because I wasn't involved in the paperwork, if you
Right.
will. But I think
Oh,
it was
yes.
stressful for the paperwork people. Yeah, for sure. For the doo-doo people,
doo-doo.
yes. Yeah, I get you. It's all right. But I remember Mobes and I asking the CEO of the company that acquired us, who was quite successful, right? He had a team of 70 people in America, and he was acquiring an Australian business. Like that's pretty
big.
pretty big, right? We asked him, hey, what's like one thing that you wish you had known when your business was the size of Red Pandas was when you acquired us? And he looked at us and he was like, goes, read more. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, read more. Like the more you read, the more knowledge you absorb, the more
Knowledge you have to give.
knowledge you
and
have to give.
Apply.
Jim Rohn. You guys know who Jim Rohn is?
No.
Okay, put that down on your list
Okay.
as someone that you go and listen to just one of his talks on Spotify. He's got plenty of books. I actually haven't read any of his books. It's on the list. But Jim Rohn, the best saying I've ever heard and I live by is go to work on yourself. Work
Ooh.
on yourself. Work
he
harder
has a
on
lot of
yourself.
books.
Yeah, he's
Like
passed away
leadership,
now.
personal development.
But he is probably
communication.
one of the people that I follow, one of the people that acquired us, and I follow him quite closely, Micah Sheridan, the author. One of his, he calls Jim Rohn a mentor of his. Obviously, Jim Rohn's not alive anymore, but you can still access a lot of his content. And if you are listening and applying the stuff that he's talking about day in and day out, of course, you're going to get some like mentoring from him, right? So Marcus introduced me to Jim Rohn.
That still is
I
mentoring
listened-
in a way.
Oh, dude, it's insane. Like what this guy's old. Like he's from the 60s, 70s,
30s.
oh, older. Shit,
Yeah,
I don't even know. You know what I
1930s.
mean?
1930.
Like he is old, but some of the principles he's talking about are
Just-
spot on.
yeah,
So
factual.
he talks about go to work on yourself. You should work harder on yourself than anything else. Anything else. That's the most important thing. So that's
Yep.
why I read. Because I'm like, my brain needs to be fueled. And then now I follow, like I get communication coaching, and he also gets a bit of Marcus Sheridan inspo and Jim Rohn inspo. And Jim Rohn has like these 10 books of that you must read. Funny, you got one of them there, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's one of the must reads that
Yep.
Jim Rohn talks about. So you're kind of on the path, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
slightly.
It's a big read though.
Yeah, 100%. They're big reads. And like, to be fair, the year that I decided, okay, I'm going to read 6 books this year, I gave myself one every 2 months. I ended
That's a
up
good-
doing,
that's a
I
good
ended up doing 4 though. I didn't hit the 6. That's fine because it
Good
was
starting point though.
a starting point, and I was reading really slow, man.
Yeah.
Like it took me a long time to read.
It's
And
hard.
that was
It's a
3
skill
4
like
years ago.
anything.
Yeah, but now I'm pumping out 2-3 books a month, easy. And people look at me like, how do you have time? I'm like, because people make time for the shit they want.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
That's a excuse me, it's an excuse. And someone says to me, and I'm being radically candid now.
Yeah.
Someone says to me, I don't have time to read. I'm like, that's a fucking bullshit. That's a cop out. I'm like,
It's
you
just
probably
'cause
have
they-
time to sit on Instagram or
That's it.
TikTok or watch TV or
It's
do
because they
something
don't
else.
value that time. They don't see the value that they would get out of reading.
Because they're not working on themselves. I think like, when's the last time you learned something new? When's the last time you did something that made you feel uncomfortable? That's what Jim Rohn talks about. He changed, I reckon when I got into him 2 years ago, that changed my output on me. So now it's like, I'm on my journey to be the best person I can be, which inevitably then is going to make me a better mum, a better wife, a better cousin, a better worker, a better sister.
I like it.
Go to work on yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought you guys would have got that. You know what I mean?
No, I
Being in
do-
the
I do
industry
read.
you're in, well, it's more like just work on yourself, right?
Yeah.
You work on yourself, everything will fall into place.
100%. We work on ourselves in different ways, like fitness and
That's it.
reading books.
Yeah, that's why fitness is. See, that's what I mean. You guys are already there. You're already doing it. You work on yourself because you train. You train like animals. You know,
Yeah.
you show up for yourselves. You got your own business. So just start adding some more layers onto that.
Yeah.
Do you know
That's
what I mean?
all it is, just little stepping stones, little ladders that
Yeah.
you're adding in every step of the way.
I'm 30. I started reading when I was 27.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I
Oh,
got,
so you got 3 years, man.
I got time.
But
I
you
want to
should-
start now
Because
though.
you're on
Like,
your journey.
yeah,
Start now.
100%.
Start today. Take a book.
Yes, I will. I started reading Ego is the Enemy. You
That's a
gave
hard
me-
read, dude.
that-
That's
that-
a hard
see,
read.
That was a hard
I
read.
gave you a book. It's
Yeah,
a hard
she
book to
gave it
read.
to me for Christmas
If you're gonna
last year.
read something by Ryan Holiday,
Yeah.
start with like the Stoic. What's
The
it
Daily
called?
Stoic.
The Daily Stoic. It's
Yeah,
a
we have that.
It's a nice, easy read
Yeah.
to get into
book-
We've
It's
all
a-
read that already.
that. You've read it?
Yeah, well, when
Beautiful.
it was us three running the business at the time, we would sit in the office, open up a page, and then go on about our day. So we'd
Oh,
read
beautiful.
we'd read a whole page, and then continue that throughout the day.
Oh, nice.
But that was like our first communal read.
That's cute.
Yeah,
I can't say I do that. But
I don't know if a lot
each
of
to
people
their
do
own.
that.
It's
That
fine.
was actually so funny, but we'd read a little passage, you didn't
That's
understand it, and then we'd go around the room. What do you think of it, Reed?
Mm.
What do you think of it?
We had no idea, but I think
That's your growth mindset. That's like
Yeah.
you guys doing what you think you needed to, like doing. You reached out to me, you reached out to other people. So like you've got it.
yeah,
And now I'm
Just
here giving
putting
you
action
more
in.
advice from people that give me advice. These are guys that, work across the world. Marcus Travels gets paid $50,000 to do a keynote. You know what I mean? Like, and he's given me that advice of Jim Rohn, go to work on yourself. Just do the work.
100%.
A lot of people, we all know hard workers, right?
Would you count like working on a business or your career as working on yourself? Because that's still your thing.
It's part of it. It's definitely part of it.
it's
There's
a different sector.
there's
though.
buckets to it, if you will. Like if you think of it as a mind map, you've got Brendan in the middle, and you've got your business, your mind, your health, your spirituality, your sexuality, your knowledge, your
Relationships.
Yeah, there's so many elements to it, and
So you're saying working on yourself is working
All
on
of that.
all of them.
all of it.
Yeah.
all
you
the
can't just
time.
focus on one at a time.
No.
They do say that like if you
Takes
want to
time.
excel at one section of your life, you should put most of your energy into
Yeah,
that.
of course.
So if you just want to focus on fitness, you should put all your energy into it, and it means that you won't be able to focus on everything else as much or as often as you'd like.
Naturally, the cups some are gonna be fuller than the others. Naturally, that's Murphy's law. You're right. You can't dilute your focus on so many different things in one place. But you can still make what's the word? When you like deposit, you can still make deposits.
You
to
can
those
still read
cups.
one page.
Exactly. You
Instead
can
of
have
reading
a
100, you can still read that one page.
That's it. I have these hack to books, right? When I'm like, I want 2 a month, I divide however many pages there are in the book by the days of the month, and then I put little tags. They're my daily goals for reading. So that's how I hit my quota for books per month. Don't get me
I
wrong.
like that.
There's some months that and the books are everywhere. They're in my toilet. They're in my lounge room. Yeah, in the toilet. I don't take my phone to the toilet anymore. Stopped
The
that.
toilet time is the best one.
Yeah, stops the phone.
Good
the
hack.
phone in the toilet. Yeah, like if you take your phone,
Read in the
men
toilet,
do
guys.
this. Men do this a lot. Like you guys like to take your phone there and do like 40-minute long turds. I'm like, surely you're not shitting for 40 minutes.
I
Do you know what I
usually
mean?
download a phone game, play it, and then delete it as soon as I leave.
See what I mean? See what you can do in all that time. You could probably have read like 3 chapters of the book.
100%.
Yeah. With the time he goes, yeah. A whole book.
Dude, what do you eat?
Pure protein.
Just a few steaks.
Just a few steaks, that's all.
Just one meal a day. That's it.
Oh man. So yeah, it's just working on you. You get it. You guys do it now. It can be tiring though. Not gonna lie. It can be tiring.
I was gonna say it's heaps tiring.
Yeah, because you're like, I just want to veg out and be a potato and not do anything. And you can do that too. That's okay. This is your life.
That's also one of the cups though.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is recovery.
Recovery, being kind to yourself. Like you're not going to be peak performance every day, all day. I do think, and this is not the podcast for it, but I do think there's like men have this 24-hour kind of like cycle. You know what I mean? You wake up, you do your thing, you sleep, you recover, your testosterone, everything kind of reboosts overnight, and then you're good. Women do go through a 28-day cycle. So yours is 24 hours, ours is 28 days. So it's not that I'm saying it's a bit harder. That's an excuse, right? If I was sitting over here saying I'm a woman and I can't be as strong as a man because I'm a woman, that's a cop out.
Yeah.
I can be stronger. I can do the same thing that you guys are doing, but I've got to have just a different awareness of myself.
Yeah.
Because some months of some days of the month I'm going to be quite weak. So that bucket of recovery, like it's very important that I'm aware of it, and I don't try and make fucking PBs when I'm bleeding because it's not going to work. I'm going to
100%.
pass out. Like I'm going to pass out.
But in your 28-day cycle, you can have periods where you're got like toning up with your
Like
training.
crazy amounts of strength.
That's right.
Crazy amounts of strength. Yeah, 100%.
A lot more than a man in that period.
Yeah, I would say so. So it's just got to line up your competitions.
Yeah.
Around that period.
Yeah. So next year I want to.
Hang on, guys. Delay the competition by a week.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm ovulating.
I'm ovulating. I can't do it. Well, 25. I'm putting it out there. I'm trying to manifest this and make it happen. I want to do a strong woman comp. So that's like lifting the concrete balls.
Have you timed it well?
Well, I don't know when they're going to be.
You're going to call them up and ask.
I'll look at my calendar and see when my period's coming and make sure it's
Fuck days on the 3rd.
Yeah. Can you do it here? It's just not a big. There's not a big industry for strong women in like New South Wales, Sydney specifically.
It's not big.
It's not. I found a few spots. Unfortunately, they're not very close to me.
How far?
But like
Because it's a small niche.
about 45-minute drive to get to where I would need to go to do the training.
That's just for the training.
The specific strong woman training. Yeah, I can probably train at probably not a commercial gym. It needs to be some type of powerlifting gym. Because if I go train strong women at a commercial gym, I will break shit.
Chucking shit on the floor.
I'm just picturing like massive kettlebells just getting thrown on the floor.
Pretty much. She's like, well, they've got the like the thing that you put on. It's like a farmer's carry, but you put it on your back and you like walk with it. Then there's
Imagine dropping that on the floor.
Oh my god,
And
like, they don't even
gym as
have
well.
them. Do you know what I mean? You've got to go to a specific gym for that. Then there's like big concrete balls that you lift up and
Onto the
put on-
tyres.
yeah,
Oh,
onto the
CrossFit
tyres.
gyms.
Some CrossFit gyms would have it, so I'm kind of on that journey now, trying to figure out where I'm going to do that
Which
training.
gym would
and-
work, that type of thing.
Exactly. Plus, I'm a sucker for group training. Like, I love a good cardio session in a group. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do that though.
Oh, so good. Nah, not at the.
Not at that
Not
level.
the strong woman level,
No.
no.
No. Well, the thing is, I just want to do some burpees and box jumps and jump around, like with
Yeah.
some good music. That's typically my cardio, or boxing.
Yeah.
Right? It's one or the other, but I don't want to get hit in the head. So
Yeah. Well, you did a boxing fight.
two boxing fights, one MMA fight.
How was that?
MMA
Undefeated.
fight as well.
Yeah, like in a cage.
He wants to get an octagon.
Wow.
Yeah, you should do it.
Go,
do
ask
the,
her- ask her
do the
questions,
Train
yeah.
Alta program. Have you heard of that?
Which one?
Train Alta.
No, I
So the
haven't.
program it's bloody hot in here. I'm trying not to sweat.
No.
Like, because I have to control.
We'll get another fan in.
No, it's fine. Don't be silly. It's fine.
I'm
He's going to get it.
All right, come back and then make sure you cut this out.
Yeah. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if friends are interested, share it around.
Right, let's
Okay,
go.
two more. Another book you should read. 10x is easier than 2x by Dan Sullivan.
We've got,
Okay.
I think you said for us to read that last time.
Maybe, but
Maybe
I just
when I
finished
spoke
reading
to
it.
you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You both have to read it.
Yeah?
Like
10
it's very,
search
very
it up.
good.
Search it up.
And he talks about
10x is better than 2x.
yeah, by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy.
Okay. Yep.
So he
Okay.
talks about this like 80%. So there's a good chance that there's about 80% of work you guys do that
That can be
is
offloaded to someone else.
offloaded to someone else
It
because
definitely can
it's only
be.
2xing. You guys want to 2x your business, basic. No one wants to 2x. If you're a growth mindset person, no one wants to be like, oh yeah, I'm happy to just 2x.
Yeah, I want a
No, you
50x
want a
every year.
exactly. You want a 10x, you want a 20x, 30x, 40, 50. You're not going to 50x if you're still doing basic 80% of your tasks, right? So my recommendation would be the book talks about, yes, you've got to invest. in some of these things.
You see, because we would stress about cost of things and stuff like that, and you're always cautious about it because you don't want to tip the scale
Yeah.
when it comes to the spending side of things.
Oh,
so
we do spend quite a bit on things
we do, but like
ChatGPT,
like we do spend money, but I don't think we spend money on the right things sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we're at the moment, is where or how to invest our money and where to invest it.
I guess it comes down to what you want to grow.
what the business goals are.
Yeah. What are your goals?
Do we want to invest in marketing, sales, operations?
I was gonna actually ask you about that. You said that when you were red. Let me start again. You said you said when you were at Red Pandas, you would brainstorm every 3 months. So every 3 months you would come together and you would do like a brainstorming day.
Yeah.
What do those days involve?
I love that you remembered that. So this is a process that we follow from another book, Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS.
Wow. Okay.
And
We're going to keep writing these down.
Yeah.
Mobes and I read the book,
Yeah.
and in that book it talks about having a yearly off-site planning session. So
Offsite.
off-site, you're away from your office. You go
Oh, we
somewhere
actually
else.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've noticed you guys do that. So mix it up, change the routine. And there's key things you talk about. There's a vision traction organizer. So it talks about your vision of the business, where you want to grow, where you want to see yourself in a year, 3 years, and then your culture. What's the culture of your business? What's your culture code? What do you guys value? How do you show up to work? The benchmark. So what are the numbers that you're measuring? Your scorecard. What's important to see? How are you going to do that 10x growth? What are the
What things you have
actual
to be doing
metrics?
every single day. sort of
Exactly.
thing.
What are the actual 10 numbers, not 50. There's 10 numbers as business owners you guys should be obsessing over. They're the numbers that are going to get you to the 50x, right? That talks about that. And then it talks about issues in the business. So where do you have issues? There's probably issues with processes. There's issues with processes in every business.
Yeah, everywhere.
We're surprised.
Yeah.
And then once you basically have that session, it's normally, depending on how many of you, half a day.
Yeah.
You
Well, there's
determine, there's 2 of you, right? You guys could, I think you could do it on your own after you've read the book, and then you follow it. Like you can get a coach for it. We don't have a coach. I'm the owner of it. I'm just running it through Red Pandas now. But the outcome of that planning session is what's called rocks or milestones. And you focus on those for 3 months or 1 quarter.
Yeah.
So for January, February, March, everyone at Red Pandas, for example, everyone in the core team, so there's about 10 of us in the core team, and then the other 20 are all over the place.
Yeah.
Each person has their own rock that they have to deliver in 3 months.
Which eventually turns into a milestone.
The rock is the milestone,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
for example, next year we're launching a new podcast.
Yeah.
That was my rock for October, November, December.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have launched. I've got podcast
Create the
recordings. We've created the
content and-
content.
yeah.
I've got the process. I've got the strategy. I've got
And
the
that's just-
creative. I've got the marketing. Everything's ready to go. We're launching in Jan.
Nice.
But that was my rock to do in.
in these past 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luca, our AI gun, he had a rock earlier this year to create an AI content course.
Wow.
So he delivered 2 courses over the period of 6 months in person, like a workshop, paid like $1,900 a seat, sold 10 seats. So he filled
Wow.
out.
Pretty
yeah.
good.
Then now he's done it twice. He knows how to turn it into a course. So it's being turned, that's his rock he's working on. He was late on his rock, but that's because he was doing so much other stuff.
Too.
But he's almost there. So next year he should be launching, Red Pandas will be launching a course that is basically
Teaches
like
you
AI,
Yeah.
AI for revenue generating content,
Yeah.
which I think you will find interesting because you already know how to use AI for content, but do you know how to make it revenue generating?
No.
That's
Which
a
is-
very big thing.
That's
Which
a
is what
big
you
quote.
don't.
We
Yeah.
get the
Right.
content, but we create the revenue generating part of
Yeah.
it.
That's it. So what Luca's specifically designed is that course. I'll make sure you guys get access to it.
Yeah.
But it's well, how do we get there? Those were the rocks. So the EOS is the framework that the business follows. And then we all have our rocks that we're working through, and obviously we've got revenues and targets and KPIs and all that type of stuff. But every 3 months, that's what the question you asked me. That's right.
That's good,
So
but-
every 3 months we catch up again. Do we do our rocks? Are we happy
Do we
with where we're
achieve it?
going? Do we? Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big thing what you're talking about because you say that you read these books and it's really important for you to read these books. But a lot of people read books and don't actually action the things
Why?
that they learn in it.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I read 10 books
Yeah.
a year, whatever it is.
Yeah.
but they're not actually learning anything.
And you're not going to remember everything you read,
Of
right?
course,
Let's be
but
honest.
it's showing that you actually implement
Well, you've got
little
to.
things from everything
You've got
you
to
read.
try. You've got to try. That's the whole, like you said, it's the whole purpose of reading. Like, you're going to work on yourself. Not everything's going to
Come in.
resonate, or you're not going to remember everything. You could read some of these books many, many times and learn something new every time you read it. So it's less about a quota. Like, I don't think I'll ever read more than 12 a year of personal development books. I'm happy to be reading. My goal for myself probably in the next 2 or 3 years is to remove my television from my home completely.
Wow.
I don't want a TV in my home. I've spoken to Sean about it.
And what did he say?
He's a bit apprehensive because we are
Somebody has to go to the pub to watch the footy.
exactly. And if we're going to remove it, at least like it shouldn't be the key function of my home.
Just reduce
Yes.
it.
Do you know
Reduce
what I
the
mean?
use of it.
Reduce the use of it. Put it somewhere else. Make
Is
it harder to
home
get
is
to.
seen as dinner, watch TV on the
TV.
couch. That's
And
what's
that's what society has
that's
made
culture.
us. Exactly, it's our culture. That's what we do. But like, if we think about the dead time, and Jim Rohn talks about this, like no wasted time. I don't want to waste time watching TV. I struggle to watch too much TV because it's like my
do a book
brain's
club with a family.
bored. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. I could be puzzling. I could be reading. I could be making something. I could be journaling. Like if you think of the way you live, often it's just so deeply rooted in the culture that our parents grew up in, their parents grew up in, how we were brought up, and like people aren't challenging it. Part of the growth of yourself is to challenge that. Like, is everything
beliefs, challenge
exactly?
thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Just try something different. You might not like it. It's not for everyone. But like, I want to be a reader. It's I want a room probably 3 times the size of this full of books that are mine.
Yeah.
Like, that's assets to me. Knowledge is power, right?
100%.
What would be a good starting book for me, or for us, for us going into? We'll go for us. For us, like wanting to develop the business, you said that 10x is better than 2x, but like you mentioned how like some books can be hard reads, some books can
Yeah.
be easy reads.
I feel like there's levels into a reading journey.
Yeah.
Because there's books that, if I picked up some of the books I'm reading now, like, a few years ago, it would take me like 10 times the length of time to read them. Because
Longer.
Read it, like, oh, I don't understand that. Read it again,
Yeah.
wouldn't understand it.
The book I gifted you took me a long time to read.
Yeah.
When I was gifted that as well.
Ego is the enemy.
Yep, and funnily enough, when I went to Ryan Holiday's seminar, he was talking about how that was his least favourite book to write.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
So I think
there you
he was pushed hard by publishers to
release it faster.
release faster and to hit certain like objectives with the book, which is not him. It's not how he writes.
Yeah, because there's a lot of research into that book. Yeah.
Like, honestly, not my favourite book. After reading it, I'm like, oh, this is not that great. Stillness is the key. The obstacles away. Like,
Yeah.
all his other books
Obstacles
are
Away is a
way
good one.
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
all his other much better. That's probably the worst one.
Yeah, he references so much. Like it's not. He talks about obviously Marcus Aurelius
Yep.
in it. A couple other people that are in the Daily Stoic, but every like second sentence is referring to someone.
It's another story.
It's another story
example.
from someone.
And I struggled with that as well. I was like,
couldn't wrap my
okay,
head
that's
around
fine.
it.
Yeah. So
But if you read it
that's
again
fine.
now, you'd probably wrap your
maybe,
head around a lot faster, right?
yeah, maybe because I'm more. What's the word?
Because reading's a skill.
Like
yeah,
equipped.
my equipped. Yeah, it's a skill, but also it's a muscle, like the
Yes.
vagina.
You're lucky I'm fucking editing it, eh?
We don't have to
help
cut
it.
that out.
No,
You
no,
shouldn't.
we'll keep
Though.
it in.
You shouldn't. It'd be funny. People are like, "What?" It's a muscle, right? Your brain is a muscle. When you
Yeah.
read, you're working it out. You guys understand what muscles are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? When you work out and you do bicep curls, you're growing your muscle. When you read, you're exercising your brain. You're growing it. You're strengthening the neuron pathways in your brain. Like it's. If you look at brain scans of someone watching TV versus reading, the whole brain is highlighted when you're reading. Whereas watching TV, there's only like one little tiny part that's highlighted.
Yeah, you can actually see the difference.
But yeah, reading's important. That's the takeaway. It's a muscle. Do it all the time. What I would recommend, 10X is a great book, but funnily enough, he actually references the EOS in
Really?
that book. Yeah.
Okay, so
I
EOS
would read EOS. I feel like where you guys are at with the business, EOS is an easy read as well. You don't have to implement everything in the book. We're a 30-person business and we're still trying to implement some of the things in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. But if there's one thing you do is you read that book. It's pretty easy to read. Give yourselves a KPI.
Yeah.
Say, okay, we're both going to
Read
have
it by
this.
this date.
Read it
that
by
type
this
of thing.
date. Book in your planning session. Have your planning session
I'm really
off-site.
keen
the
to do it.
calendar.
I'm really keen to do
That's
it
it.
because we've done the brainstorming sessions at Rockdale Library, and we've sat there and we've
You just dropped our location.
don't go to Rockdale Library, guys. We'll be there every 3 months. Should we tell them the date as well?
Nah,
that we
go
go?
somewhere like Rockdale Library. A library in general is a nice place, but find somewhere a little bit, maybe like
The only reason we did it was because
Like a
we could
park?
write on the
no,
whiteboard.
not a park. You find but you can find other places like that. Try like a co-working space because the vibe will be different. Do you know
now
what
we're
I mean?
here.
What do you mean?
Like we've created this space to be that
No,
space.
she's saying to go to.
Oh,
No,
No, no, for
sorry,
your
away from the
offsite,
hub.
for an
Yeah,
offsite.
sorry.
Because don't get me wrong, library's good, but it's
Yeah.
a library.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you look into just like co-working spaces, you can probably get a room. Come to my office. I'll give you a room for the day.
Actually?
Yeah, 100%. It's a
Okay.
nice space. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's a whiteboard. There's a TV. You guys can use it, and it just breaks up the pattern of being somewhere.
In the same four walls all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly. And it's got to be a vibe because that's when your creative juices start flowing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
When you're around other people creating stuff, you end up flourishing as well.
Yeah.
It's like an environment thing. Yeah.
See, when we first did it, like when we first went out of our comfort zone and we went to the library the first time, we just had so much like knowledge just being spat out at us and we
Yeah.
were doing it all. But then the second time and third didn't hit the same
At the library.
at the library.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Every one of our offsites is a different location.
Okay.
Oh,
So
every single time?
our 12 monthly is a different location. Our 3 monthly is in our boardroom.
Wow, okay.
All right. So the boardroom you guys can use. It's fine. I would recommend maybe you don't do it right away. You're small, but eventually you'll get to a point where there might be 5 or 6 of you in your key team. You should go to the Crown, book a room, or book one of their
Yeah.
room, not the stay night.
Like a
they're
little
very
getaway,
expensive.
like a drive.
Yeah, they're expensive.
That's
those
it.
ones.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Don't book the night. Just book a day in like one of their like function rooms, right?
Yeah.
One of the small function rooms. We went to the Novotel in Wollongong 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We went Wollongong. Don't judge me.
Yeah, yeah.
We did Wollongong because 2 of our team members live in Wollongong.
Yeah.
We wanted to make it a bit easier for them.
Nice.
Last year we went to somewhere up the coast near my place. I can't remember where it was, but it was like in the bush. So these
Yeah,
facilities,
right.
there's these function places. Normally we do weddings.
There's
They've
heaps of
always got
places you can go
heaps of
to.
places. You tell them that we're doing like an all day
Strategy
corporate
day.
workshop or whatever, and we just need a whiteboard. We'll bring our own like texters and
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, they get a room for you. If you want catering, you can get them to cater it as well.
Oh wow.
It completely mixes up the day. So that's
Yeah.
what EOS taught us. But just give yourselves like
Well,
like,
there we go. You've
don't be
taken
too
the
hard.
lessons from every single book.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100. Like EOS is the one that we're following though. This
Yeah.
is the one that I'm like, no, we're following this. The business needs processes. There's corporate. This will transform your business. If you want to grow a scalable business that you eventually either sell or get more like shareholders into, you need a
have
framework.
processes.
You need a framework, and the EOS will give you that. We tried one called Scaling Up the year before, and it was not fit. It was not good fit for us. So Scaling Up, it's another book.
Yeah.
But it was too much aligned for it was more aligned for like 500 plus businesses, so 500 people plus. We're only 30, so some of the
Yeah.
strategies it was recommending, it was just like overkill for what we
Yes.
were.
Yeah.
Whereas
You have to
EOS
read books that are like similar to what yours.
EOS
Same
perfect,
level.
perfect for your business size. So go and do it. At the end of the book it talks about what's it called, getting an EOS coach, which we don't even have one yet. But if you wanted a coach, there's a network of them out there. I think you've got me, so just reach out to me
Yeah.
when and if you get stuck with stuff. But give it a read. I actually have a copy. I have a spare
Strong
copy.
Woman, EOS.
That's your Christmas present.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
you go.
Spies.
Yeah, I have 2 copies. I'll bring them,
Okay,
right? So
perfect.
you've got the book. Start reading it. That'll give you guys clarity for 2025, what you want to focus
with
on.
frameworks and everything. To follow.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Nice.
easy. And it's easy. It's very easy to follow. So yeah. That's my book I'd recommend.
Yeah. How do
We
you?
learned a lot on this podcast.
I know, we did. And just one question before we go, we want to touch a little bit on fitness, being personal trainers.
Of
you
course.
know, we always want to dip our toes into that bucket. Balancing fitness and your career and obviously your family life, what does that look like for you? How have you managed that?
I train 6
Yeah.
times a week, sometimes 10, to be honest with you. For me, yeah, it's insane. the
Just as
amount of-
crazy as me.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with training. It might not look like it because I'm not your typical, like, smaller type of female, but I'll train.
But that's why I like people to see, because
yeah.
fitness comes in all shapes and sizes.
That's it.
And you don't have to
That's
be a
it.
specific body shape to be deemed fit.
I agree. 100% agree. And I think it's taken me a long
You've
time
earned
to
Two
realise
boxing
that.
fights, a
MMA
cage.
fight
2 powerlifting comps this
as
year.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Strong
was.
woman next
you guys
year.
know High Rocks?
Yeah.
I trained for High Rocks this
Did
year.
you?
Yeah, I injured myself just before.
Yeah, you told us
So I
before
fell out.
when we were
That's
supposed
right,
to do the
yeah.
other podcast.
Yeah. I like 2 weeks. Oh, it was a week.
Well, you
before
enter
High
one
Rocks
next
Sydney.
year, aren't you?
High Rocks next
Yeah.
year, maybe.
We want to try. We've been saying
It's
it.
insane.
I
You were
know.
like, you guys should do it.
Yeah,
You're
it
like-
is.
you're telling
I
us to do it.
yeah. Look, if I get the right partner, I'll do a double. I won't do I did.
I don't think I could do a single.
No, I think you could. I reckon you guys could do singles for sure. You should, like, if you can do it, give it a go. But like, I'll do a double next year if I can find someone at my gym that's keen. But I trained for that this year. Like, I was doing it's insane training, but it's also so fulfilling. I kind of regret not being able to do it, but I guess what happens when you injure yourself. But yeah, you're right. Fitness comes in all different shapes and sizes. In the last 12 months, I've put on 6 kilos of muscle. So I got scans.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and my weight hasn't.
Which one was it? The infit one?
The DEXA scans.
DEXA
So
scan.
that like does your whole body comp.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the last 6 months, I haven't changed my weight,
Yep.
but my body composition's changed from 6 kilos of fats melted away and turned into muscle.
That's crazy.
And it
That's
makes
crazy,
sense.
that's
I'm
good.
lifting. I'm lifting
training
heavier than I've ever
hard.
lifted.
Yeah.
But I also am a sucker, like I said, for group fitness, group cardio. I'm like insane. I love it. I don't know what it is. The
It's like a
timer.
story
and
every day.
everyone- oh my God. Like,
You're,
I hate burpees, but if you put me in a group and say you got to
You'll do
do a minute of burpees, I'll do it.
how did you?
It's because that
find
group
that?
like
I think so.
camaraderie.
I think so,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
I
How
think
did you
it's
find that love for cardio? Like, did it just happen, or was
Well,
it
group
was
cardio.
the group cardio?
Yeah,
was
the
it
boxing helped. The boxing definitely helped because that's insane cardio. If you remember when I was boxing though, I was very thin.
Yes,
I
super lean.
had no muscle.
Yeah.
I actually looked at a photo yesterday of me then and now, and I had no butt. Like my butt was flat,
Oh yeah.
literally flat.
And was this your coach telling you to like cut weight, or
I had to cut. I didn't have a coach. I only had the boxing coach at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't have a power, like a lifting coach. I wanted one, but I didn't know where to look. It was very like
It's a really
overwhelming.
hard place to navigate.
Yeah, it was very overwhelming. And all I knew was I had to be under 80 kilos. So it was like, whatever it is, lose weight.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, lose weight, cardio, lose weight. So it was unhealthy. It was definitely, I looked insane. Like I looked pretty fit.
yeah, you
Won my fights, was super ripped and shredded, tiny. Like I'm talking,
Super
I was
lean.
really small. And then obviously had Zoe,
Hmm. wouldn't
put a
have
bunch of
felt
weight on.
yourself.
No, I didn't know. I was just like, I guess, enjoying this newfound version of myself, but always wanting more. So if you know,
Yeah,
that
it
feeling
does
like
make sense.
you achieve something, but I'm like, but I want more. I'm like,
you get hungry.
now I want muscles.
Yeah.
Like I want to be stronger.
Yeah.
And I actually wouldn't take that body over what I've got now because there's no way
Do
that
you feel fitter in the body?
I
that
feel
you have now?
so much stronger now. Like I've
Feel
got
it,
less.
like a safe level.
Yeah, exactly. Like I definitely I've got a little bit of fat I could lose 100%. Trying for another baby, not trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to be healthy right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Right now it's about being healthy. But managing for me, fitness and training is my safe place. It's where I go to release.
Little escape.
It's me working on me. Like I told you
That's
before,
the way I view it as well.
I go to work on myself. Me training is for me. It's not for anyone else. I've had to challenge people's preconceptions of me because I'm bigger. And so they just assume that I'm unfit and unhealthy. I'm over
Then you
100
smash 'em out
kilos
of the
and I
park.
can jump onto this table with my 2 feet. Do you know what I mean? I can pick up 150 kilos for reps. And I love that about me. And I've got a daughter that's going to be a strong woman one
Yeah.
day. So I want to lead by
4.8
example.
kilos as
Yeah,
well.
Jesus Christ. When she came out of the vagina. Actually, she didn't. She was too big. You can potentially edit that out. I don't know. It's
No,
up to
it's
you.
okay.
I
I'll
don't
slip
mind.
it in. I'll just put the beep over it.
But yeah, you got to work on yourself.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter what stage of your life that you're at.
Yeah.
You got to work on yourself.
I always say that.
Yeah.
Like, it does, because we do so many podcasts, I hear myself say it so much, but I always say put yourself as the number one priority at the end of the day because it's so important.
Your oxygen mask first, right?
Yes.
Can't help. How
Yeah.
can you help anyone else if
Yeah.
you're crippled
Yeah.
or hurt or fat?
100%.
Too fat to handle. Fat
What's
with a
the
PH.
difference?
Sorry.
Yeah, but fat and unfit is different to fat and fit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Any other words of advice you want to hear?
No, I'm just really proud. I'm really
Aw.
proud. It's not
I'm
every day you
excited
get
to see this strong woman journey. As
Yeah,
well.
so am
Yeah,
I.
man.
We're in the journey. We'll
Yeah, cool.
come and support
Rocks
you
next year.
100%.
I've signed up to that now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been put
It's
out
on
there.
camera.
It's been put out there.
Yeah.
I did all the
Oh, now
training
we
for it. I
have to
might as
do it.
well.
Now
Yeah,
we have to do it.
You
Wow.
guys, you should do doubles together. That'd be cute.
No, 100%.
That'd be so good.
I'm keen to do something next year.
Yeah, you
I'm
should.
I'm not.
High
I'm
rocks,
turning 26
high
next
rocks,
year.
High rocks.
I've got to
Definitely high
at least say I'm 25 and I've done something.
Yeah.
Because I've done one 10K run. Doesn't.
That's something.
still something.
It's
though.
still something. I'm not saying it's nothing.
got a medal.
But, you know,
You got a
I
little
want to
medal.
improve on myself. You know, I want myself to be a
You got a
priority.
medal?
You got a medal.
I did. I bit into it and that was it.
Yeah.
But now it just sits there on the shelf. And that was the last time
You've
So
been,
what's the
you've been a
next thing?
soccer
You know
player
what I
since
mean?
you were 4, but
Sorry?
you've been a soccer player since you were 4.
Yeah, but that's like, that's just
Well, it's-
routine for me to play every
It's
season.
still a sport though.
I'm not
It's just like the
denying,
sports that me and Tasha.
but I don't
play,
push
you know?
myself outside my comfort zone, and that's what I want to do in this new year.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
you're going to do that.
Self-development.
That's
That's
it.
the
And you're going
one.
to do the Train Ultra program. That's
Yes.
the
I'm actually keen on that one.
20-week mixed martial arts. Where you go
Yeah.
into the
Is that
cage
all
at
of
the
them?
end. Yeah, well, it was the one that I did, Wimp to
Yeah.
Warrior, and then they rebranded to Train Ultra. So Luca,
it's
the
20
bot, I
weeks.
told you it's 20
That's
weeks, so it's about 6 months. You do jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai.
He already
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I know you
jiu-jitsu,
do
I used
jiu-jitsu,
to.
so you've already kind of got...
I've got like a little bit of.
Yeah, you've
floor
got a little bit
knowledge.
there, which is good.
I've got no upward defense, but
Yeah, that's why you would do this program. And then at the end of 6 months, they put you in a cage. That's how I had a cage fight.
no way.
Yeah, 6 months of training into the cage.
That's like made for you, Brent.
You should do it. I'm like, what you got to.
I'm
It's early
Yeah.
morning training. You got to find a gym around here that runs the program. I don't. If you just go to Train Ultra, you'll find a gym in your area. They'll probably be taking intake soon. It's brutal training though. That's
I'm
what
sure it
made
would
me.
be,
So
6
before
months.
before I did Wimp to Warrior, I never trained ever. I think I went to the gym 3 times in my life. And then I did the program, which is now called Train Ultra, but I did the program. 100% changed my life. Like it showed me the value of training. Before then, Brendan, if you said to me, have you ever punched someone? I'd be like, I'm not punching anyone. I didn't know what MMA was. I went to an MMA fight with Sean, my husband.
So that was the first thing you did, and then you did
and
boxing after that.
Yeah, that kind of was the
Okay,
catalyst
yeah.
to everything else. Even my lifting today, like I wouldn't be who I am now if it wasn't for that program and the people that put me into
Wow.
it.
Okay.
Wow.
So that was definitely the
pivotal
thing.
moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, now I'm scared.
2018.
Because I've already got that mindset before doing this. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
Am I going to
you-
go to 20 sessions a week?
Who knows? Nah, you'll probably want to be a fighter. There's a good chance
Oh,
if
maybe,
you
yeah.
you do it and you win, you're probably going to be like, I want to be a fighter. It's very normal, and that's understandable because you
Well,
get
you did that
so
as well, didn't
much.
you?
Well, yeah, I won,
Yeah,
and then I'm
yeah.
like, I'm going to be a fighter. I still want to have one professional boxing fight in my life, like one. And my coach knows it, and I've told him, and he's like, I'll take you there. So mark my words, I'm sure I'll have one more boxing fight in my life. And I want it to be pro because in Australia, anyone can be fucking pro. Like, just might as
Really?
well.
Is it
It's very easy to
is it
become
because
pro.
it's small? Like it's a small field?
I think you just pay the right amount of money,
Yeah,
and then they're always looking for fighters,
Okay.
especially like in the female space as well. They're always looking for heavier
Female
female
fighters.
fighters because
Yeah.
I have to fight at 75 to 80 kilos. So that's a lot. It's a lot to
Oh,
drop.
wow.
Yeah, it's a lot to drop. 'Cause
Okay.
unless I just start my own weight class, which is, to be fair, I could. I'm a change maker. Maybe I just because men have weight classes all the way up to 120 kilos or 110.
But females?
Women's weight class ends at 75.
Really?
Yeah, because there's just not a lot of big, heavy female boxers.
Maybe you
Okay.
could start a new trend.
Yeah, maybe. But dude, there's still a lot of weight to drop. I don't want to lose any muscle. Anyway, it's all muscle.
I love this
That's what I
podcast.
tell myself.
This is another good one. We've been noticing that like with each podcast that we're doing, we're getting a lot more comfortable on the
100%.
mic. And
Yeah.
it's just becoming more of a conversation to where it's just so natural now,
Yeah, as it
which
should
is
be.
good. And you're obviously super natural at it.
Yeah,
And experienced.
Yeah, and experienced. So
doesn't faze me. I love it.
Yeah.
I love attention.
can you tell it's just related to me?
It's an energy thing.
Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Evolve Podcast.
Brendan and I have loved having you throughout this whole podcast. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if friends are interested, share it around.
Yeah, make sure you share and tag us on your Instagram posts, and I'll see you soon.
See you guys. Little boogie to finish.